After playing Red Dead Redemption 2 for around 9 hours now and seeing the reaction from gamers on social media, especially to the fact that Red Dead 2 is native 4K on the Xbox One X when nobody was expecting it, I feel like this game in particular justifies the reasons why Microsoft made the Xbox One X, and I wanted to talk about it for a little bit. What is going on, guys? Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. And it's going to be a while before I finish this game. I hear it's 70 hours long. I'm 9 hours in. I'm taking my time with this masterpiece. So I wanted to give my impressions on the title, which will be at the end of the video. So if you're looking forward to that, maybe just skip ahead. But honestly, I feel like Red Dead 2 justifies the existence of these mid-gen consoles, particularly the Xbox One X. This game is absolutely gorgeous. It's the best looking game I have ever seen on consoles. It is stunning in every single way, and it's a true testament to the wizards at Rockstar. And quite frankly, all the praise heaped on the world they've built and the things they've done would be kind of muted if we were still playing on the base consoles. The other day I did a video about how it hit native 4K on the Xbox One X, which nobody expected, how it runs checkerboard 4K on the Pro, 1080p on the PS4, and like 894p on the Xbox One, and they say it's quantifiably the worst place to play. Now, think about that for a single second here. Would people be praising Red Dead Redemption 2 the way they are if the only systems we had to experience it on were the base PS4 and the Xbox One? Sure, people might be, hey, it looks great in 1080p on the PlayStation 4, but those comparison screenshots and videos of the game running on the Xbox One S don't make the game out to be some sort of visual juggernaut. But now that you have people playing on these mid-gen upgrades, one that can do 4K, one that can do checkerboard at 4K, and you see the promise that Microsoft said at E3 when they announced the system, that it'd be visually better. And you do see a lot of games that run and look better on the Xbox One X, Far Cry 5, Wolfenstein 2, and a whole bunch of others, but not to this degree. My jaw is constantly on the floor when I play Red Dead Redemption 2, when I'm, walking around the snow and seeing it part, when I see, when I land in the mud and my jacket is covered in mud, my face is covered in mud, when I gotta take a bath to get rid of it. Everything is so real. This game is immaculate, and I feel playing it on this upgraded console really highlights that and gets people talking about it. So to me, it justifies the reason why Microsoft made these consoles. This game more so than any other game. And then quite frankly, the conversation on social media would have been quite different. Very, very different if the Xbox One X didn't exist. You know it, and I know it. Look, Microsoft made a weaker system back in 2013. They bundled it with Kinect. They made sure that the system could do multimedia capabilities like snapping apps and all that stuff. They didn't have the really fast RAM in there, so it was kind of bottlenecked. They had to use the SRAM to, get it to work right, and it was kind of underpowered in comparison to PlayStation. This whole gen, up until the X, when a big game like Red Dead came out, it was always, look at the resolution difference between the PlayStation and the Xbox. That was the talk of the town. And let's just imagine a scenario where it was just the PlayStation 4 and maybe the Pro versus just a regular old Xbox One. It wouldn't look good. In fact, the conversation on social media would probably be toxic. I mean, look how it was this past Thursday when it was revealed that it was native 4K on the Xbox One. Nobody wants to talk about how the game runs on Xbox One S, how it looks bad, how it looks blurry, how it's 892p. The talk is how amazing the Xbox One X version is. Even though, a small number own the Xbox One X, the hardcores own it, but the regular people don't, that was the conversation and the narrative that people were talking about. The system is amazing, the game looks fantastic, it beats out the Potato, right? But just imagine that same scenario, but no Xbox One X. What would that conversation be like? How would that impact Microsoft if the conversation for every single one of these games, Red Dead included, which, quite frankly, maybe will be the biggest third-party game of this, of this year, possibly being out Call of Duty. If this game looked as bad as it does in those screenshots, but there was no X version to prop it up, it would just be a laughingstock. The Xbox One would be a laughingstock in the eyes of gamers when it came to Red Dead 2 and everything else. But the X kind of changed that. They put out the system so the games can look better, can run better, and that whole resolution talk went away for a long time. Yeah, people bring it up here and there when games really outperform the Pro, but for the most part, it is muted. Most people don't talk about it. But, Red Dead 2 being the game, being that huge monster game, really changed things. People still are talking about it. I just saw a journalist from IGN, Brian Altano, say that he's played for 12 hours on the PS4 Pro, and he plays all of his multi-platform games there, and he's literally thinking about switching to play it on the Xbox One X because he saw it in person, and it's such a big difference. And that is the type of thing Microsoft was thinking about when building the machine, when coming out a year later than the PS4 Pro. Because remember, Phil Spencer said they could have done what Sony did and released an upgraded machine in 2016, but they chose to wait and have a system with more GPU power and all that stuff for 2017. And this game is like the proof of that. When you have people that see both versions side by side and say, listen, I'm willing to restart my game and play it on this system because the differences are so stark, you understand exactly why Microsoft waited a year and built the Xbox One X. It's for things like that. Now, it may have taken almost an entire year to get to that point, and maybe it'll only ever be this game because Rockstar are gods when it comes to this. Nobody else, no other dev studio out there can spend 7 years working on a title, spend $250 million or whatever, making a game like this, a game that looks this good. Nobody else can do that, so maybe this will be the only game that really showcases the difference between the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. I don't know. But either way, I thought about that while playing. My jaw was on the floor, and I'm not a resolution dude, but my god, does this game look absolutely stunning in 4K. I couldn't believe half the stuff I was seeing. I'm 10 hours in, and I'm still being surprised. But getting into the impressions, this game's a masterpiece. I'm gonna say it right here and now. Yeah, I have some nitpicks with it, but everything this game does, it's master class. And it all comes down to the subtle animations, right? The attention to detail in every single thing you do. Nobody else does this stuff. It is literally just Rockstar Games. They are on a complete other level than every other video game developer, and that's including Naughty Dog and Sony Santa Monica and Bungie and whoever else you want to throw at them. Rockstar Games is the pinnacle of game development. The worlds they build are better, bigger, and more immersive than anything else. And I thought God of War was going to be my game of the year for what it did. And quite frankly, and I know I said quite frankly quite a bit in this video, but Red Dead Redemption 2 makes God of War look like child's play. That is how much better this game is. And it's not to say this game doesn't have its issues. Of course it does. You know, I'm not necessarily a fan of the aiming, I'm still trying to get used to it. Some of the movement has its little quirky Rockstar animations, you know, constantly have to open up drawers and loot everything. I can see getting completely old. But the attention to detail, the fact that you have to feed your horse and clean him, that you have to eat, that you have to sleep, that you have to take baths so you don't smell, and you see that all reflected on your character and how people react to you. The wildlife where you can go hunting, like you don't even have to do the main story, you can do anything you want. It's amazing to me, and I can't wait to finish the story. And speaking of the story, I had my doubts about Arthur Morgan and this being a prequel, but I'm completely blown away. His character is awesome. The voice acting in this game is top notch. I just sit there and I listen to these characters tell stories to one another, and I'm enthralled. I love going on these kind of slow horseback missions where you're with a friend and they're telling you something back and forth. It's so engaging. It's so great to hear all that stuff that I can't wait to see where this story is going to go, even though in my head I kind of know where it has to go because it is a prequel. This game has lived up to my expectations so far and gone beyond it, and I already had high expectations. I understand why this game has a 98 on Xbox and a 97 on PlayStation. It's because it is that damn good, and Rockstar Game is putting on a masterclass, a showcase for other developers to follow in their footsteps, basically, even though nobody else is going to be given 7 years to make a game like this. Nobody's going to be able to give $250 million to make something like this. It's a once-in-a-generation game, Red Dead 2, in my opinion. And those are my early game impressions after about 9 hours. I will drop a review whenever I finish the campaign, which might be a long time from now, but I wanted to get this video out in case anybody was wondering, and I know a few of you have because you've been hitting me up in the DMs asking me if I like the game. Well, I love the game. Anyways, guys, that is my take on the justification of the Xbox One X and how Red Dead 2 is. Let me know what you think about all this stuff in the comments below. Make sure you hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Share this out on Twitter with a friend on social media. I greatly appreciate that. Hit that sub button if you're new, the notification bell if you always want to be notified when I drop new content. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Later, guys.